Because, guys, there is drama in Dallas. Despite leading the NFC East, trouble is brewing. At just 2-4, Cowboys players have reportedly begun to express their frustrations with coaching staff. One player reportedly said Mike McCarthy's staff is, quote, totally unprepared. And another player simply put it, they just aren't good at their jobs. Shannon, is coaching the problem with the Cowboys right now?
No, these are players making excuses, Skip. And Jerry Jones is the reason why, because he's always allowed the players to make the coach the fall guy, because he's also made the coach the fall guy. That's why he's had so many of those guys since Jimmy Johnson when they were... Go ahead.
Well, he kept Jason Garrett for like 3 decades of 8 and 8s, but go ahead.
And he was the fall guy, right? Because every time something went wrong, he never...
Not for Jerry, but for the public, for Cowboy Nation.
Because when things went well, they were winning in spite of Jerry. I mean, in spite of Jason. But the moment something went wrong, he done the old 8 and 8 Jason Garrett. That's what they named him. You nicknamed him.
I did that.
Exactly. You're proud of yourself for that, Skip. But the players are disregarding their responsibility, Skip, and what are you supposed to be doing in this? Skip, coaches can teach you 2 things. They can teach you alignment. They can say, son, this is where you need to line up at. This is where I need you. I need you 8 yards. I need you in the shade. I need you in a 3 technique. I need you in a cowboy, which is a 9 technique. Or I need you in a 7. We can teach you that. Corners, we can line up outside, line up inside.
Yep.
We can teach you assignment, which is assignment is another word for, Skip, responsibility. That's what we can teach you. Alignment, assignment, your responsibility. I can't teach you effort, Skip. I don't really like to do this, Skip. I really don't, because I think sometimes the players play hard. But I need people to take a look at this. I pulled a couple of tapes, a couple of clips. This explains why the Cowboys' defense is so porous. The first one is the OBJ. Now, Skip, we commended Alton Smith. We commended him, saying he made OBJ bubble. His job is not to make OBJ bubble. His job is to contain it. Yeah. He has contained.
Sure.
His responsibility is not to make OBJ bubble. His responsibility is to contain him, which is not let him outside. What happens, Skip? He lets him outside. Now, you tell me the effort. You got 2 guys from the Cowboys, Skip, run out of bounds. You do realize OBJ has the football. And you running out of bounds does not say, okay, well, we ran out of bounds, OBJ. You run out here and meet us. Skip, the next play, look at Kenyon Drake's run. Now, there's a responsibility here. Now, all they try to do, Skip, is just try to run time out, maybe get a first down on 3rd and 4. Now, I'm going to show you the end zone copy. I'm going to let you show from the Cardinals. Look at this. Skip, get in the A-gap. You got 2 linebackers and a safety. Somebody's supposed to hit the A-gap, Skip.
What was the score at that point?
Skip, that's why.
31 to...
Skip.
Was it 10 yet,
Skip.
Or 3? 31 to 3?
Skip, what did I tell you? You learn more about your players in a loss than you ever do in a win.
Q-U-I-T.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
you can't pick apart a tape in which the defense has Q-U-I-T.
No, but I want to know, why are they Q-U-I-T-ing? That's what I need to know. I'm going to show you one more, Skip, and then I'm going to look at this touchdown run, the touchdown pass to Christian Kirk. Now, Skip, I don't really like to get tape, but Skip, they're in the cover 1. They cover 3 single high safety. Now, they got a guy that got zoned, that got hooked to flat, and they got this guy, the guy that's running the fastest behind the guy with the ball. I got a good indication he's at fault. Now, we're going to freeze it right here. Freeze it. You see, Skip, if you get an opportunity to run that back, Skip, you got the up guy. He has hooked the flat. Worley has deep 3rd. You tell me, why in the hell are you 2 yards behind a guy that has to hook the flat when you're supposed to be in the deep 3rd?
Better question. Why is Darryl Worley on the field in the first place? Every time I look up, 28 is chasing somebody. Help me out.
Well, Skip, look, maybe they're short some DBs, but there lies. Remember, I told you, put C.D. Lamb in there. You drafted him. Just let CD play that, because I told you what you needed. But you didn't want to hear that. You wanted the strength of the strength. Skip, it's easy to do this. And Jerry has allowed players for the longest time to abdicate their responsibility in what they should be doing and blame the head coach. It's like a guy, Skip, that's been in a relationship, he gets a divorce, and the same problems he said his previous wife had, the new wife is giving him the same problem. What about you, bro? What is your responsibility? Why is it that the same situation that was in the previous relationship has arisen again? When it's two different scenarios, we get the same thing. We got two different head coaches, two different defensive coordinators, two different line coaches, and the same problem is arising. But somehow it's the coach's responsibility. Now, Skip, I'm not saying that maybe there's a disconnect. Maybe between what the coaches are saying and the players are understanding, maybe there's a disconnect there. But let me tell you how we did it, Skip. When things were in Denver, we always installed the run game, offensive line, and everybody, the whole offense was together, and then we would break up. But sometimes, Skip, before we would you had tight ends had a meeting room, the wide receivers and running backs had a meeting room. But when things weren't going well, Mike said, so look, I need everybody to hear the same language. I need everybody to know this is what we're thinking. This is why we're calling this play. This is what, Shannon, we need you to do. 84, 80, this is what we need you to do. TD, this is what we need you to do. So come game time, Skip, I'm in okay, look here, guy. Hey, John, I'm hot. Rod, you remember you got hot. TD. Hey, that guy cheating down, you got him. So we're communicating, Skip. So something is being lost in translation. Either what the coaches are saying is not resonating, or Skip, what we call football IQ. The players just can't learn it. Whatever the problem is, it needs to get fixed. But to blame the coaches 6 weeks into the season when you see the effort that they're putting on tape, Skip, nah, I'm not going to let y'all do that, players.
Well, I'm about to second that emotion. It is time for Jerry Jones to drop the mic. And I'm talking about dropping the mic, who is the defensive coordinator. It is time to fire Mike Nolan now. I have seen enough. You have seen enough. Something is very, very wrong here. This defense has allowed more points than any pro football team since the 1961 Oakland Raiders through the first 6 games. More than any since those Raiders, who went 2-12 playing their home games across the bay in San Francisco at Candlestick Park. They were horribly bad. They got run off the field every game. And this defense is on pace to even be worse than that one. 1961. Something went completely wrong here. And I did first guess this because I said, how do you go get a Mike Nolan who hasn't been a defensive coordinator since 2014 in Atlanta, and he was 2012, 13, and 14 in Atlanta, and his defenses finished in 2012 24th in yards allowed, 2013 27th in yards allowed, and 2014 dead last in yards allowed. Those were his last 3 years as a DC. And then he was out for a year. He was a linebacker coach in San Diego for a year. Then he was in New Orleans the last 3 years as a linebacker coach. It's cronyism at its worst, because once upon a time, when Mike Nolan was the head coach of the 49ers, and by the way, he was not outstanding as a head coach, because his 4 years he went as head coach of the 49ers starting in 05. He went 4-12, 7-9, 5-11, and then 2-5 the next year and got fired. So let's just keep it in perspective. You knew Mike Nolan because he did coach with your Broncos way back when.
He was there when I got there in 1990.
And his father was also on your staff, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't Dick Nolan on the staff?
It might have been way before I got there.
It wasn't much before you got there.
But Mike was with me in Baltimore also.
He had some good moments back in the 90s when he coached Dan Reeves' defense and the Giants. Okay, I give you that. And Jerry Jones just raves about his football IQ. Nobody can talk ball better than Mike Nolan. They're not hearing or they're not listening. They have tuned him out. And I believe in Jane Slater's report. I know it was only a couple of guys speaking anonymously, but the flashpoint quote is, the coaches don't teach. They don't have any sense of adjusting on the fly. Okay, now, why am I so down on Mike Nolan? Because I got to tell you, I still look back at the start of the year. The odds makers had the Dallas Cowboys as the 4th best team in the NFC. So they had the 4th best odds to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. almost every prognosticator picked them to win the NFC East.
They still might.
Okay, they still might. But to Jerry's credit, he said yesterday, I'm not going to look at this as manna from heaven because we're still in first place in the East. He said, this is not a feel-good moment for me. But I thought he was between the lines, subplot. I thought what Jerry was trying to say yesterday was he was also condemning both of his mics as coaches, so he could drop 2 mics here. He said, we still have the ability to rally here. He said, I still think we have the talent to make the adjustment. So he's saying it's there, it's just not being coached well enough.
But you see what Jerry did? Let me ask you, Matt, if you don't mind me asking, Skip, who shopped for the groceries? So if the meal don't come out right, I bought him A-quality groceries. I went to Whole Foods. I got him the best organic stuff that money can buy. Jerry Jones got the talent. So Jerry Jones is advocating. It's not me. It's y'all guys. I gave you great talent. You saw what he did there, Skip?
Over the last decade, what team has the second most Pro Bowlers to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones' team, and he shopped for all those groceries, right?
Right.
Okay, you got to give him some credit.
I give him credit, but Skip, what's happening is that every year we come out here, the Cowboys got this, the Cowboys got that, when we haven't yet to see them put that together.
Help me out here.
Yes.
So last night, I came back to my senses, and I started thinking about my defense.
Yes.
This is historically bad. It's off the charts bad. It's incomprehensibly, inexplicably wrong. Alden Smith has been a revelation. He's still playing at a high level and on your bubble play. He did the best he could. He stayed he stayed in a contained position. He's 280 pounds. You can't expect him to outquick Odell if Odell goes backward. He went 20 yards deep. He bubbled it completely out. He bent it like Beckham, as the movie said.
Yes.
He bent it back 20 yards.
Yes.
Then it's up to everybody else on the defense, especially your linebackers, to get home, to at least meet him at the line of scrimmage, because that play should have lost 5 yards.
25.
Okay, maybe, but at least I'm being conservative.
Right.
You should have met him with a cavalry, right? A cavalry at 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There should have been 8 or 10 guys there waiting for him, right? Okay, so we have Alden Smith, who just a week ago made the Pro Football Focus weekly All-Pro team. We have DeMarcus Lawrence, again, overpaid at $21 million. You can make a case. He has made Pro Bowls like Alden Smith has made Pro Bowls, right? He just made the Pro Football Focus weekly All-Pro team for the Giants game. Okay, then we have Everson Griffin, who they stole right at the, just before the season started. They acquired Everson Griffin. He made the Pro Bowl last year. Help me out. So that's 3 right there.
Right.
Ty Crawford is another starter inside that defensive line. He started 77 games for my Cowboys. Now, I got to tell you, he's been a pretty good player for them for a long time.
Did you look at Ty Crawford's stat line on Monday night?
I got it.
20 plus plays, zeros across the board.
They also went out and got Dontari Poe, who is a former Pro Bowl player and a run stopper.
Yes.
Okay, they're historically bad against the run. They're barely second, allowing rush yards to the Texans, who are off the charts bad. Okay, so you have Dontari Poe, and then you have 2 linebackers who have made the Pro Bowl, and now one is back, the Wolf Hunter.
Yes.
And Jalen Smith, just a week ago, made the Pro Football Focus weekly All-Pro team. Okay, I just gave you Pro Bowls everywhere in the front 7. And by the way, Sean Lee is due back this week. I don't know, on a short week where they got to fly to Washington. I don't know if he'll be able to play. But Awuzie, at a starting corner, is due back this week. So they didn't have those 2. But my point is, I just gave you too many reasons why you can't be allowing the most points since 1961 through the first 6 games. Coaching, disconnect. Something is very wrong. It sounds like a mutiny to me. It sounds like they are quitting on the new DC, who probably should not be the new DC.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, you named the guy that went to the Pro Bowl, so let's just take D-Law. Since D-Law went to the Pro Bowl and got that money, you tell me how well he's played. Okay. Everson Griffin was on the market until the 2 days before they were reporting to camp.
Okay, all I know is he did make the Pro Bowl last year.
But Skip, why was he still available? A guy that's, 31, 32, made the Pro Bowl? Why was he still available 2 days before everybody went to camp? Okay,
you believe he's a bad football player?
Skip,
I don't.
Skip. But here is the thing. is that if you don't do your responsibility, I don't care how great you are, because if your responsibility is to contain.
Is it scheme? Is it disconnect with the coaches who can't teach the new scheme? Because it was, trust me, it was night and day from the Marinelli, Chris Richard scheme.
Skip, in Rod's system, Rod Marinelli, Skip, they play the run on the way to the quarterback.
They do.
The worst thing you can have.
And it mostly worked except for a playoff game out here in the Coliseum 2 years ago. Go ahead.
Skip, the worst thing you can have happen as a defensive player is to play bad football and make a good play. If you look at D-Law, he made a lot of plays, but he was abdicating his responsibility. Now it's coming back to bite him in the butt. If you look at the Christian Kirk first touchdown when they pitch it, D-Law has contained. Can I get that, Skip? I want you to show. I want to show this. Pull this up for me. Pull this up for me, because I want you to see. I want you to see this. Now D-Law has contained, Skip. Why is he inside? He has contained.
How do you know that? I think you can't know that. Seriously, I think you can't know that unless you interview those people and find out what the defense called.
Let me tell you what. You
never know. You never know. I know this because I've been doing it for a long time. And if I wrote that back in the day, somebody could come to me and say, you have no idea what defense got called there. Just for the record.
Skip Bayless, are you telling me my 14 years of playing this game?
I'm saying you never know. You never know. I know.
I tell you what to do. I tell you what they do. If I'm lying, if any Cowboy player says, Shannon Sharpe, you don't know what the hell you talk about, write it.
Okay, write it. You don't know. You can't know. You can't know.
Skip, what it is,
you just can't know. You can't know.
Skip, you're upset. You want Mike Nolan gone. I know what they're doing is wrong. You can't tell me. You covered it. I was in the huddle.
Okay.
I was in the locker room.
Yeah.
I was in the meeting room.
You weren't in this.
They are wrong.
You were not in this huddle, and you weren't in this meeting
I know
room.
that defense.
You just, Shannon, you were not.
I know that defense.
You do not know that defense. You have no idea what got called.
Oh, my goodness, Skip.
You don't know. I'm sorry, you don't know.
Skip,
No,
I
I'm
know
sorry.
you want Mike Nolan gone.
No, well, that's not the point.
But they're wrong.
Of this.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
because
fine.
what you're trying to do is place all the blame on him, and you're abdicating those guys' responsibilities, Skip.
Okay. They don't teach, says the quote to Jane Slater. Something didn't connect here. They're not getting. They're asking both Aldon Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence to stand up on the edge and edge rush from a standing position without their hand in the dirt. They're not used to it, and somehow it didn't go in their head right. They're not comfortable with it, and something is not working here. And I say, Chris Richard, I thought he was a head coaching candidate. He actually interviewed for the Giants job that Joe Judge got. He's still sitting out there, I assume being paid by Jerry Jones. I would like to see him back in power here running the defense because I liked it better under Chris Richard.
You said you liked it better, but you said they weren't doing their job. So there was a disconnect between Mike Nolan. There's a disconnect between Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli. At what point in time is the players not out learning their job, Skip? When is that?
I don't know. And then how about Clinton Dix? I was so excited about the signing of him. You realize they gave him more money than they gave Andy Dalton?
Yes.
They gave him $4 million?
Yes.
And then before the season started, Mike Nolan, I assume, signed off on, nope, I don't love it. He's 27 years old. He has made a Pro Bowl before. Why isn't he in the starting lineup right now? I don't know.
Skip.
Did I not beat my fist on the table for Earl Thomas? Did I not do that?
Yes.
Where is Earl Thomas? I don't care what baggage he has. This baggage is way worse than all of his combined.
Skip, you do realize the Cowboys was going to be Clinton Dix 15? So Green Bay
He played
said no.
for Mike McCarthy.
Green Bay said no. I think Chicago said no. I think Cleveland
Are you saying
said no.
yes to our man Xavier Woods? He's a great kid. He's a great kid, and he started a bunch of games now. He's got 39 starts as a Cowboy. He's just another guy. I'm sorry. They actually made a lineup change the other day. They actually elevated Donovan Wilson up into the starting lineup. And I liked him at Texas A&M, but he lasted until the 6th round because he can't run. But he made a lot of plays for Texas A&M, and he would flash on my TV. So they finally put him in the starting lineup. Is that going to change life at Washington? I don't know. But I still say the front seven is good enough. If Sean Lee comes back and Awuzie comes back at corner, yep, they're good enough. Yes, they are. To be respectable enough to win the NFC East, yes.
I want to show one more play. Can we get the long run by DeAndre Hopkins? This is the coach's fault. Because I won't Skip Bayless because Skip says, Shannon, you don't.
This is an effort play by Jalen Smith. It's Jalen Smith.
No,
Jalen Smith just.
That's the coach.
Nope, he just
That's
quit
the
on
coach.
this play.
That's coaching.
Okay, remember, when did that come in the game?
Skip.
They lost at home 38-10. The whole second half was a quit half.
That explains to why the Cowboys are in the position they're in.
Here's the other problem. Guess how many snaps my defense has played with the lead this year? Help me out. Does it matter in your psyche? Yeah, it matters in your psyche. They have played a total of 67 snaps with the lead. They have played 247 snaps while trailing. Help me out. It's horrendously hard on you because the offense keeps coughing up the football at the highest rate in the league. They have 15 turnovers, and your defense doesn't take the ball away. So they are running away with the turnover differential. And you're short fielding Kyler Murray twice in the first half, thanks to my man Ezekiel Elliott, who coughed it up twice. Do you know how hard it is to play defense like that on sudden change, short field?
Even if your offense coughs the ball up, there's not a prerequisite. You have to let the team score. You're okay. It's okay. It's a lot to keep them out of the end zone.
But if it keeps happening and happening, I thought my defense actually played very well the first three possessions. They were all over the field. Kyler Murray was having a hard time. And then cough, and short field touchdown, and then QUIT quit.
Yeah, and also, they played only 67 snaps with the lead. But if the team gets the ball first and they go right down the field and score, yes.
Okay.
You're behind.
All right, now to Mike McCarthy. How did he make his name in this game? What was he known for pre-Green Bay? What was he known for? Calling.
Yeah.
Help me out. Does he call my plays?
No.
He does not because, wait a second. Oh, yeah, Kellen Moore. Oh, yeah, he's the holdover who Dak loved.
Right.
Okay, as much as I love Dak Prescott, with Kellen Moore calling his plays, in Dak's last 17 starts for this franchise, he was 6-11.
Right.
Is that working? Again, Michael Lombardi, who writes for The Athletic, he criticized this whole scheme right now on offense because he said Kellen Moore is calling it like it's a video game. You have splash plays, but you don't have a big picture chess game plan where you're trying to set up a play or you're trying to possess the football, right? Okay, I do agree with that because Dak had a lot of splash plays after they were behind 21-0, right? Okay, so why wouldn't Mike McCarthy, speaking of dropping a mic, why wouldn't he say, you know what, it's time for me to earn my keep here. I'll take over the play calling, and let's see if we can turn Andy Dalton into more of a game manager.
Especially since Dak is not the quarterback.
Correct.
I understand the relationship that Kellen Moore and Dak has.
I got it.
No Dak.
I got it.
Now.
I totally agree. It's time to just flip the script because as weak as it sounds, as embarrassing as it is, you can still build toward next year by winning this NFC East, and it is winnable. If you go 5-1 in the division, which is highly possible, if you go 5-1, I think you got a great shot at winning the division. So could they split with Philly? Sure, they could split with Philly and win the home game. Could they beat the Giants twice and the Redskins? Yes, the Washington football team twice, yes.
But maybe we overvalue Mike McCarthy because he had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
You could make a case. And by the way, Mike McCarthy in his last 34 games is 13-20-1. So is he the solution to the problem? I don't know.
Well, Jerry thought he was.
He does have a Super Bowl ring, but it was a long time ago. Right?
And you said that guy went on a historic run to help get him that Super Bowl, that quarterback.
Well, I didn't go that far.
Did you?
There's a road wild card team.
Did you see what he did to Atlanta?
That was a good game. That was the one great game he had.
Did you see him in the Super Bowl?
Did you see what he didn't do to Philly? Did you see what he didn't do to Chicago in that run? Just go check it out. We'll talk about it in a few minutes here on the show.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.